even uh, speaking Spanish for like an hour or trying to. And my first time here, like in this talk and talk immersive. So yeah.
Good. So let's start in the same way that we always do with the presentation. So present
Okay.
yourself.
My name is Karine Calisto. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Rio de Janeiro. And now, how can I say that? I'm in transition career to UX design. And that's why I try to improve my English. Yeah. And I have a four daughter. Her name's Tiana.
She's 4
And
years?
now, how can I say is patas? Eu não sei como se fala.
Ah,
Paws. Não,
oh. So it's a dog or a cat?
it's a dog.
It's a dog. Oh, good. I don't know how to say patas in English.
Well, yeah, I think is it.
Maybe we can try 4 legs.
Yeah, my four-legged daughter.
Just kidding. And how did you discover this platform?
So I'm in this group. I think is I don't know how to
Vagas
say
UX.
this. Yeah, Vagas UX, and they put the how can I say that? Ai, meu Deus. They put this part of like the how can I say sorteio? Não é sorteio.
Oh. Hello, Christian. Do you know how to say sorteio in English?
No, I don't know. Let me see here.
I have no idea.
So
But
can I say this
okay.
opportunity?
Yeah.
This
And you win.
opportunity
You
to
won.
yeah, and I want to have this course in English and in Spanish, and I was like, oh my God. I was
Did you
literally screaming
enjoy as much as you can? Yeah.
in the computer. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Oh, good. That's amazing. Seems Christian now knows. Do you know Christian?
Yeah, I think that it's a draw. A draw.
Draw. Yeah, draw. So thank you, Christian. We are in the presentation, so it's your turn, Christian. Present yourself.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Jimenez. I am from Bolivia. However, I currently live here in Brazil, Curitiba, Paraná. I work as a full stack software developer. I got relocated to Brazil 2 years ago. I lived in Sao Paulo for 1 year, but the last year we decided to move here to Curitiba, Paraná with my wife. I am married, by the way. I live here with her. In my free time, I really enjoy playing football, watching football matches, watching different movies and series with my wife, as well visiting different restaurants, Brazilian restaurant here. I really love Brazilian food in general, and as well learning different languages. I have been here in Talk and Talk for almost 2 years, and I am trying to improve my English in general. And nowadays I am trying to learn French on my own. So I usually participate in French immersion as well. Um, that's it, a little bit about me.
Amazing, Christian. Amazing. That's good. Last but not least, I will present myself. I am Ana, 29 years old. I am from Juiz de Fora, a small city in Minas Gerais, but nowadays I'm living in Toronto, Canada. I'm doing part of my PhD in here. It's a government program in Brazil called Dr. Sandwich, Doutorado Sanduíche. And I love to explain why it's called sandwich, because I do the bread in Brazil, the meat abroad, then I need to go back to Brazil again to do the bread again. So I'm going back to Brazil in August, unfortunately. and maybe looking for another opportunity to live in a different city, in a different country. Who knows? I'm here in this platform since 2020. So yeah, I think I've already celebrated 4 years in here as a host. So it's a long journey. And yeah, I consider that the confidence I have to speak in English was all built in here in this platform, mainly because there is no correction. That it's what I'm passionate about. No correction, although you're gonna learn tons of knowledge and skills, more than just the English, but how to handle with different topics, agreeing and disagreeing in a polite way, and all this. So that's me. Nice to meet you all, Karine especially, because it's her first time in an English immersion. So yeah, that's very good. So today we're going to talk to some sending in the questions because to send it to Christian. Oh, yeah, today we're going to talk about some strategies that we use to achieve our fluency. But we have a nice name for this topic. Christian. Oh. Yeah, today we're going to talk about. Sorry. This is the echo from the live on YouTube. So the name of the conversation will be setting goals to achieve English fluency, or we can talk about any kind of fluency, Spanish, French, because we are in a polyglot group in here. Not me, but Karine and Christian. So let's go to the question number 1. What are some specific aspects of English fluency or any language fluency you would like to improve upon, such as speaking, listening, reading, or writing? Let's start with you, Karine. What is the aspect that you would like to improve?
For English, I really like to improve my speaking and my writing. I think my writing is where how can I say, is not the best part of my way of, it's not my way, it's not the best part I have in English. So I really want to improve that. And with Spanish, I want to improve all because I really don't know nothing about how to talk and read and write in Spanish. But yeah, in English, I think speaking and writing is my focus now.
And how did you learn English?
So it's a lot of I started learning English with a lot of music when I was younger, and then a lot of course. But like when we are younger, we don't how can I say that, we don't value the courses and all. So now I was like, okay, I need to learn English, and that's why I try to read every day articles in English and listen podcasts and other things to really improve that part, because I know I think the key for the fluency is the, how can I say that, is the constancy. It's not constancy.
Yeah, constance to be.
It's the,
yeah.
Yeah. So I try to do every day. Like I try to read and try to write and speak every day in English. Like even a half an hour in my day or 1 hour. Like okay, so every day I try to do this.
Yeah. And I'm really jealous about who can learn another language just listen to music, because I'm not this kind of person. Although in the past I had a basic English level, and I try to listen the music and read the transcription to see, oh, I know at least Reading the transcription, I know what they are talking about. But now, sometimes I listen to music and without reading the transcription, and I can understand. And I feel, oh my God, I won the word. Because now I know what they're talking about. Now I can understand a little bit. So I love the sensation of being able to understand. Perfect for me. How about you, Christian? Talking about the language you are improving, English and French, I think. What are the skills you want to improve?
Well, I am currently trying to improve my speaking in general because I need to increase or to gain more vocabulary. I also think that it's important for me nowadays trying to improve my writing because I want to take the IELTS test this year. I don't know when specifically yet, but I want to try to do that kind of test because my wife and I, we want to try to live in another country. So we are going to try to find a job offer in Canada. But if we don't, we are gonna try to go there by studies. I'm gonna try to study an MBA there, and then try to live, stay in Canada. So that's why I consider now crucial English in writing and speaking. I think that my listening it's okay. I think it's the skill that I developed the most so far, but I need to prepare myself for that kind of test. In French, well, I nowadays I think that my conversational skill is good. I would say that well, by the way, I started the last year. I have been studying French by myself for just 10 months from scratch. I didn't know anything about French before that. I just started learning French just because I want to go to Canada, and I know that if I can speak French, I will have more opportunities now because there are some immigration programs that allows you to apply in a different way. It's a kind of a special way if you know
Yeah.
French in some level. So that's why I started to learn French the last year. And now I consider my French level so good. I feel really proud of myself because I did it all myself. But I need to improve more. Obviously, I am not fluent yet in French. And as well, I would like to improve my writing skills in Portuguese because even though I can speak Portuguese, I consider my writing really bad because I've never studied seriously Portuguese. I
Yeah.
just used it because I needed it, but I need to improve my writing. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, amazing. So someone learning Portuguese in a way, English and French. That's amazing. Amazing, right? And Christian, why did you choose IELTS as a proficiency test?
I choose IELTS because there is a program that is the Express Entry.
Yeah.
And I think that the IELTS accept, sorry, the express entries accept the CELPIP, that it's not allowed here in South America,
Mm-hmm.
and the IELTS. So I have no
Also,
choice. So I have to prepare myself for the IELTS. If I want to take the CELPIP, I think that I have to travel to the United States or Canada. But well, I think that IELTS is important because if I don't approve of if I cannot I'm not accepted in the express entry, I think that I can use the same test for applying to some university or college. I'm not sure, but that's why I choose IELTS test.
don't they accept the TOEFL test?
The express entry, I don't know. I think that they don't accept the TOEFL in for
Oh,
the express entry.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Philip, we are having kind of experience here in Canada. So if any day you would like to talk about this, about yeah, we are not immigrating, so it's very different experience. But if we can help in some way, we are here to help. So about me, I think my listening is pretty good. My reading, yeah, I'm comfortable. The writing, I'm exercising a lot because I'm a researcher, so I'm all day long writing in English, and I'm using ChatGPT so much to help me on this. So it's been a really nice experience because I write in my best way, and I ask ChatGPT to correct the grammar and improve the readability and a fluidez do texto. So it gives me some different inputs. Then maybe next time when I'm writing, it becomes better. But my speaking, yeah, I feel confidence and okay with my speaking, but I would like to improve specifically the grammar and the vocabulary. Yeah, I'm focused on this. But it's difficult living like in a different country. I speak English almost all day long when I'm not at home. When I am at home, I speak in Portuguese with Philip. That is not so nice. But when I am outside, I'm speaking English all the time. But it's been difficult to improve. You know, although I'm here, I cannot see the difference. But yeah, I feel confidence, and that's enough for me for the moment. How do you currently access your level of English proficiency? And what tools or methods do you use to measure your progress? That's good, Christian. How do you, as you are planning to do a really proficiency test, but what are the other ways to access your proficiency?
Well, I think that something so important that I started doing this year is trying to immerse myself in English and in French as well. Even though we don't have the opportunity to do that in a place where people just speak, in this case, Portuguese, it's kind of difficult to create that immersion. So how can I do that here in my house, or in my house, because I work remotely. First of all, I started participating every single day in an English immersion here in Talk and Talk. After that, I replaced it music, because I work in front of my computer all of the day. So in the past, I used to put some music or some list of music to continue my work. So I replaced music for podcasts. So
Oh,
I
amazing.
put podcasts for 1 2 hours, and I am inconsciously or not indirectly learning or getting more vocabulary just because of the podcasts. So I do the same thing for English and for French nowadays. That's why I am not that person or so updated on music nowadays. I think that I don't know new artists, new songs. I don't know anything about that so far,
In
because
French.
yeah, I am doing that. Another thing is as well, I follow a lot of English teachers or English professors, because it can be on Instagram, on TikTok, or Facebook. Because even though I am resting or I'm taking a break, I am scrolling in my cell phone, and it appears a reel of a teacher who is explaining
Yeah,
something in a really short in a really short period of time. So even when I am resting, I can learn a little bit in 5 or 15 or 20 seconds, because
yeah,
this kind of reels are important as well. Starting doesn't mean that you have to be in front of your books or in front of your computer all of the day. You can
yeah.
learn in 1 minute or 2 minutes little things that will contribute too much in your English skills.
Yeah, I totally agree. Unconsciously, oh, I don't know how to say this in English, but I do this as well. Uh, but I don't like the contact of like an English teacher, like teaching something in English. I like motivational videos or lovely videos in English with subtitles in English, or just in English, like trends in English. And most of my reels on Instagram are about this, 100% in English. So I don't like the sensation of someone teaching me, like grammar or a new word, or do not say this in English. In order this, let's say this. I don't like this kind of contact, but I like contact in English, and I consider that I'm really improving in this way. Something that I remember I did for long months. When I was at the gym, I used it to listen TED Talks in English in the time that I was in the treadmill or in the bike. And I listened in English with subtitles in English. And then I realized that I could just listen in English without the subtitles. So when I started doing this, I realized, no, now I really improved my listening. Oh my God, that's amazing. So yeah, I did this, and I'm also doing, yeah. How about you, Karine? How do you measure, or what strategies do you use?
So I try now the strategy to force myself to talk every day in English, and I'm in transition career. So now I'm a volunteer and to institutes, American institutes. So I need to talk in English with them, to work in English. So for me, it's like when I was accepted in this volunteer job, and the first meeting was like, okay, now we're gonna talk about this project, and I'm okay, and oh my God, I'm talking English, everyone is understanding me, and I'm like, I'm working English, wow, and it's okay. For me, like, was a surprise because I was said my English was more or less, and I like, okay, I not a advanced, I'm intermediary. How can I say that? Intermediate.
Intermediate?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And my sister always said to me, like, no, your English is good. Everyone understand you. You're working English. Like, okay, trust yourself. Trust in your English. So, like, go for it. And I'm not okay with this yet, but uh, this job, this volunteer job, is like a really good thing because it's forced me to write and read and talk in English, and I'm really happy because like, okay, and it's a good thing because in my team group, so like we have Indians, we have Nigerians, we have a lot of people around the world, and the accents is like really difficult to understand, but it's really good because when we learn English, you always have the American accent. We don't listen another accents. So for me, it's a really good to understand people from other places. Like, it's okay, this is a normal English, people talk like this, right? Like in Brazil, we have a lot of accents. We don't have a lot of one, like people
This
from
is the
Rio.
correct, this is wrong. No.
Yeah. So for me, this is like the most progress I have because I really understand the people, and people understand me.
Yeah, and something that I learned learning English, it's the way that you show your skill is 100% related to your confidence. So if you are confident about your English, or about that, no, I can do this, so you will perform better. And most of the time, no one will help you to build this confidence, especially in a workplace, in a work environment. Yesterday, I read a post on in LinkedIn saying that there is no recruiter, I don't know how to say this, recrutador, to help you with your confidence. An example, if you are not able to put in your CV that you have a advanced English level, and you put that you are intermediate and they are looking for, you put upper intermediate and they are looking for an advanced, they will not think twice, they will remove you. They will not give you a chance. So if you are not giving a chance for you, who will give? So I remember how I built this confidence. I built this in talk and talk, but how I start thinking that I am able to live in another country. I had an opportunity to make a presentation in an international congress of my area. But the international congress was in Brazil, and everyone there were Brazilians. But it was an international congress, and there was just few lectures in English. And I decided to do my presentation in English, although I am not fluent. I didn't consider myself fluent, and it was not mandatory to do it in English. But I decided to do it because it was like the first time. When you broke this barrier from the first time, you go like, you really know, now I know how to do it. Because Karine, your first immersion, it's the most difficult. When you go to your second, third, and fourth, okay, you become used with it. Then I decided to do this presentation in English. And my supervisor just had this chance to see my presentation in English. And then she decided, no, maybe I will give this opportunity to Anna to do her PhD sandwich abroad because her English is really good. Because I have no other opportunity to sell my fish, to show that I'm good on this. And and all the time that if you have this opportunity, just go for it and show that you have the skills. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think, I already answered the number 2. Let's go to the number 3. What short-term and long-term goals you have set for yourself in terms of English fluency, and how do you plan to achieve them? Or maybe French fluency. Christian, what are your short and long-term goals?
Well, in French, my short term, I already set one important goal, that it's having at least one interview in French this year. I am trying to send my CV to Canada, different companies, and as well in France, because I don't know what can happen. So I just want to try it. I remember the first interviews that I did in English. So I already have some experience of having that feeling of nervous, feeling nervous, anxious. So I want to have the same thing, but now in French. And one long-term goal that I have for French is as well taking the TEF test the next year, because I need that kind of test in order to apply the express entry in Canada. I have to take, or I have to get an B2 level in French if I want to apply for the express entry. And for English, I think that I already said one, that it's taking the test, the IELTS tests, and I will need at least an B2, but I would like to get an C1 if it's possible. I think that I can do it. Obviously, I need to prepare myself so hard. And a short-term goal in English is I would like to have the opportunity to be a facilitator here in Talk and Talk in English. In fact, I'm gonna start immersion in Spanish. So, but I want to lead or guide English immersion as well, if it's possible. I think that's a good one.
Amazing, amazing. And just to share my experience with the TOEFL test, I know it's different from yours, but I realized that those proficiency tests, they are not proficiency tests in some language. They are proficiency tests in doing this test, because I consider that I am at least advanced in English, but during the test, I feel that I know nothing, because the test is really difficult, but it's not difficult because of the English, but because of the structure of the test. So sometimes you should study about the test, not about English. Because when you study to do a vestibular, an example, in Portuguese, sometimes you go there and study the structure of the test. So you know how many questions you have, how many minutes you have to answer each question. So you do some strategies. So that's, for me, it was the most helpful thing to achieve the level I need in the TOEFL test. So crazy, but yeah. And how about you, Karine? What are your short-term and long-term goals?
So my short term in English this year is to have an interview in English for a job, application job. And my long term is to write article in English about my area. And in Spanish, my short term is to talk in Spanish to my to my brother-in-law, because he's from Peru, and he always said to me, "Oh my God, you need to learn Spanish. How can you talk Spanish?" And I'm okay, I'm trying to. And now okay, I will talk to him in Spanish. And my long term Spanish is to how can I say that? Is to see a Spanish movie without subtitles.
Nice.
Yeah, I think.
Nice. I was thinking if I already set those goals, but I realized that I didn't yet. So maybe long-term goal in English is to go an English interview. I think it will be good. And short term, I don't know if I have a short term, because I consider that I'm living in English all day long, every day. So if I want to talk with someone in English, I can just go outside and do it. If I want to try something new in English, okay, just go outside and do it. And I think something special that I'm learning here, it's nothing related to this question, but it's how to deal with different kinds of discussions in English and different kind of emotions in English. An example, we tried to rent a car when my parents came to visit us, and we had tons of problems renting this car, and we needed really to discuss and to argue the guy renting the car, and like it was really difficult because I need to deal with my emotions in Portuguese and my desire to fight with him in Portuguese, but I have, yeah. And I didn't have this class about how to fight in English. And I need to express myself in English, but trying to control, and it was really difficult. But I consider that I've learned this. So yeah, I don't think I have a short term, but I have a long term that it's going in an interview in English. Yeah, that's it. Let me choose another question.
But I'm sorry, but I think sometimes the best way is to really fight in Portuguese, because they don't understand Portuguese, so you can fight them and then you calm down and talk in English. Because when I was in Washington last year, I was in a concert, and how can I say, a lot of kids was like start to fight with us, and I was why I really said to them like, honey, I'm from Brazil, I'm from Rio, I like, if you want to fight, I can fight you because I'm Brazilian. And she's like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm Latina too, so don't do that. Was funny now, but in the moment I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? And it was, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but sometimes realize that they do this with us. An example, if you are fighting against two people, they start discussing in English in a low voice. I don't know if it's correct, and really fast, supposing that you will not understand what they are talking about. But yeah, sometimes we do this. I talk to Philip, no, say this or say that, or do not do this. Let's go in this way or that way. But I speak this in Portuguese with him. And seems that they do not care, that you are speaking in Portuguese. And I think it goes in the opposite way. They become more mad with you, and I don't know, seems that you will not understand them and you will do nothing. So yeah, I think sometimes it doesn't work. Let's see another question here. Okay, let's go to the question number 4. How do you prioritize your language learning goals, and what strategies do you employ to stay motivated and focused? Christian, how do you keep motivated and focused learning 3 languages at the same time?
Well, something that I normally do is comparing my progress from where I started and how is my English level or my French level now. Because in fact, when I was in the high school or when I was in the university, I have never been that good a student in languages. In fact, I never liked English. I remember that I always struggled so much in English subjects since I was in the elementary or high school. So when I started learning English, it was so hard for me because I started when I was 26 years old. So I already was working and I had to go to my work, then to my English classes that were those old-fashioned classes, a lot of theory, and it was so difficult for me. In fact, when I finished those classes, I studied for 2 years. When I finished my classes, I couldn't speak at all. I just learned how to write, how to listen, but I couldn't speak. I truly started speaking when I started doing different interviews and using TNT, in fact, because that was the way that I started speaking in real, for real. So how I get motivated is creating that comparison from the creation that in the past and the current creation. Another thing that I usually do is try to focus on my goals because I am so focused on that goal of working abroad or living abroad in another country. I think that it's driving me and my wife to try to achieve those goals, even though it sometimes could seem difficult or impossible, but we are trying our best. I think that setting a goal, short and long-term goals are crucial for getting motivated. And obviously there are some times that I don't feel motivated because it can be a matter of personal thing, but there are some days that I don't want to study English or French. But what drive me or what make me do the things is the consistency and the discipline. So I think that when I posted something related of that on LinkedIn, when 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 motivation lacks, discipline acts. So when you
Yeah,
don't have when you don't have when you don't feel motivated, you just have to do it because the discipline. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
it.
most of the time we are not motivated. So we should learn how to do it without thinking. So it's time to do this, so I will do this. So it's time to do that, so I will do it. Yeah. How about you, Karine? How do you prioritize? Especially now you are in career transition, so you have a lot of things that you need to learn. So how do you prioritize the language learning?
Uh, I understand that. That my transition career was how can I say that, the point that bring me to prioritize my English and to try to learn other language, because I understand if I want to a good job, to have a good salary, I really need the English, because like here in Brazil we know the job how can I say, escassos is,
Yeah, that you have filled. I don't know.
yeah, we don't have field for that. The salaries is too low. So when I start to look for to apply for job, I understand that okay, so if I have the English, if I have a good English, I will have best salaries.
Yeah.
So this I like I really agree what the Christian said, like okay, we need to have the like we need to do that. We don't have I really don't have more time and then more age to to not trying to do that. So for me is for this I really want a better life for me, for my family. So I have to push it. I have to do that, and I don't have more skills. So
Yeah. And how are you planning to study English and Spanish? Do you already have like a schedule routine? So I will do those immersions, or I will study this time or that.
so yeah.
You have
uh, I have this plan that at least uh, like 3 times a week I need to study English and Spanish, no matter no matter what. So because that is the constancy, I I really improve my English because I start to read and talk and to listen English every day. So I really, if I want to really improve my English, I need to force me to do more.
Yeah.
So I think I really gonna be like Christian to talk and talk every day in these emotions, because that's why we improve. That's how we improve. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
And I think it's the only way to improve is to try every day, to study every day, and to have this immersion every day in all language, like in Spanish, French, English, any kind of language.
But I think it's exactly how we improve each skill, you know, like if you want to improve your listening, you should listening. You should listen. So if you want to improve the writing, you should write. So my supervisor in Brazil, although although the papers we write in the end they need to be in English, she wanted me to write in Portuguese, then to send to her, then she will correct, and in the end, with the final version, I will translate it to English. But it doesn't make sense because I will now learn how to think in English. Because it's different. The ability to translate in the end, I can pay a translator to do this. But the ability to write from the scratch in English, to think in English, to plan this article in English, it's different. So yeah, I will just learn doing this. I will just learn how to ride a bicycle, riding a bicycle. So there is no other way. So if you want to improve your writing, you should write. If you want to improve your speaking, you should come to the immersions and speak. There is no way to improve your speaking like just listening. No, I will put some podcasts. Okay, Christian, you are improving the listening. But as you are coming every single day, okay, so you are improving the listening, then learning new words to put in practice. So it's important to have this sequence and this plan. Okay? We are almost in the end of this conversation. So I would like to thank you so much, Christian and Karini, for joining me. Actually, this immersion is not mine. It's from Diego, but Diego has a problem, then I'm here for him. My official immersions are on Friday, 9 a.m. So if you want to join me, Karini, Friday, 9 a.m., it's where I am the host. And something that we are asking in the end of all immersion is, what you have learned in this immersion? What you learned? Karini, let's start with you. Talking about everything that we think and everything that we discuss, what you learned?
So I have learned that the key of to improve my English is the constance and to just do it, like the Nike said. But I think when like learn a second language or a third is difficult. Is because it's like have some people have more facilities, can I say that?
Yeah.
To learn another language, but like I think the key is to do it, to try every day, to do your best, and the improve will come. I think we are doing this now. Like
Yeah.
more we try, more doing that, we improve. We're gonna
Nice.
we're gonna achieve our goals.
Yeah, exactly. And how about you, Christian? What you've learned in this immersion?
Well, something I learned or I remember every single day is the importance of consistency. Another thing, the importance of repetition and practicing, because if we just study the not the practical part, just the theory, it's impossible to improve our English or any kind of skills. So we have to do it. We just have to start doing, because I consider that the base of technology is repetition and practicing. Without that, it's impossible to achieve our goals or to learn new skills. That's it.
Totally agree. It's the base of every skill. It's the repetition and consistency. And if I could add something, I will say confidence, because if your brain does not trust in the ability you want to do, you will fail. Trust me, you are gonna fail. And if you start something, say no. The no I already have. O não eu já tenho. Let's try. So you don't trust in your ability. You are just like trying. So you should trust in your ability to go for it. So I think that's it, guys. We still have some minutes. Do you have some questions? Do you want to add something? No? Karini, if you have any question about the platform, about everything you are starting from the scratch, you have the community in the website. You can post your questions in there. We'll help you. And if you need anything, just let us know. Okay? Thank you, Christian.